The moon is the debris of an alien spaceship. Astronauts who went missing, NASA top-secret archives, and countless unanswered questions. All of that refers to the Earth's nearest and only natural satellite, which has excited the human imagination for ages. Yet, these are by far not all the mysteries posed by the moon. Just picture to yourself, at the distance of a mere 384,467 kilometers from Earth, there's the true Death Star. Take a closer look. Indeed, our natural satellite has very much in common with the space battle station from the Star Wars galaxy. And we'd better never see the Force awaken in this space body. Just take my word for it. There have been long and countless talks of the moon being the debris of an alien spaceship that was fortunately or unfortunately forgotten on the Earth orbit. Moreover, the Americans, for instance, did not limit themselves to empty talk. Instead, they went on to finance a project investigating extraterrestrial life on the moon, though it did not yield the expected result. On second thought, chances are it did yield a result, which, however, was kept secret from the general public. For all the seeming absurdity of this theory of the origin of the moon, there are certain undeniable arguments in its favor. It all started in 1969, when, before Neil Armstrong's arrival to the moon, empty fuel tanks of unmanned reconnaissance spacecraft were dumped on our satellite, with a seismometer among them. That device started to transmit the information on vacillation of the lunar crust to Houston. The shock experienced by the scientists after the data was received was beyond description. It turned out that after the cargo weighing 12 tons was deliberately crashed into the moon, it caused a local moonquake. The satellite vibrated and rang like a gong. That could suggest that beneath the rocky surface there's a metal shell surrounding the nucleus of the moon. Moreover, this can imply that inside the satellite there's an unimaginably large, almost wholly hollow space, 73.5 million cubic kilometers, designed for appliances for navigating and repairing the super spaceship, as well as exterior observation instruments, some structures connecting the exterior armor to the interior space. In the late 1970s, the same seismometer was used for computer analysis of the metal making up the shell around the nucleus of the moon. Measuring the speed of sound in this substance, experts concluded that it contained nickel, beryllium, tungsten, vanadium, and a few other elements. Surprisingly enough, there turned out to be relatively little iron in the lunar shell, compared to its vast deposits on Earth. If you are not completely ignorant in machine building, you'll readily come to see that a composition like this is a perfect shell with anti-corrosive and mechanically strong properties. Most importantly, this shell can't have natural origin. The seismometers recorded steady 1-minute high-frequency signals that were repeated every 30 minutes and came from inside the moon. The source of the signal was supposedly located at the depth of 960 kilometers. Could it be an automatic device running on thermal or any other energy, once pre-programmed to send its signal to eternity? Astronomers also observed wisps of gas leaking out of the moon from time to time and instantly dispersing. According to one of the hypotheses, it may be the effect of the still active source of energy for the hypothetical spaceship we call the moon. The theory says it was deliberately damaged and rendered uninhabited during a real space war in the unthinkably remote past. The lunar surface looks very similar to an area that has undergone carpet bombing. It is statistically impossible for meteorites equal in size and mass to crash into the moon and produce regularly situated craters, which can be found there in great abundance. Could that have happened at the time when the moon wasn't the satellite of the Earth? Maybe it could. Many ancient celestial maps don't show the moon at all. Can our ancestors have merely overlooked the huge celestial body dominating the night sky? In very much the same vein, religious texts often point out the cataclysms associated with the arrival of the moon. And as the saying goes, the pen is mightier than the sword. In 1968, the U.S. National Aeronautics and Space Administration, NASA, released its catalog of reported lunar events. The catalog lists 579 lunar anomalies that have not yet been solved: moving bright spots, geometric shapes, obscured craters, colored streaks expanding at the speed of 6 kilometers per hour, mysterious walls that are distinctly seen one day and disappear another, gigantic domes changing color, and finally, a big luminous object, later called the Maltese Cross, that was observed on the 26th of November, 1956, and on and on and on. In 1940, luminous specks were observed on the visible side of the moon, above the Sea of Tranquility and other areas. The specks were moving at a speed between 2 and 7 kilometers per second. We leave it up to you to believe it or not. Meanwhile, chances are that the moon is inhabited by aliens of various races and occupations. If you are curious, subscribe to our channel to keep up on what's going on in the world and beyond.